The path to true success is achieved through determination.
With the goal!
Determination to grow, to push through, and to finish.
And there's a championship.
Utah Valley student-athletes strive for these qualities.
Out of here!
UVU student-athletes need your support from the community, their peers, and their families to achieve this growth and success in life.
Has an opportunity laid down, and there it is! A dive into third base.
Support from donors like you makes a significant impact on the lives of more than 370 Wolverines student-athletes. The General Athletic Scholarship Fund will help our student-athletes be successful in the classroom, on the field, and in life. Please support our student-athletes with a personal donation and watch these men and women grow now and in the future.
Who am I? And furthermore, what do I want? What makes you itch? That's the most important investigation anyone can make. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Because if you say that money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
Smooth sailing.
More traffic. Great looking day ahead. More weather.
New details are emerging.
More breaking news. Whenever, wherever.
That's good news.
More ways to know before you go.
You're gonna like the morning commute.
On KSL Today, weekday mornings on KSL 5. Experienced? Check. Accurate? Check. The team more Utahns trust to stay safe from winter weather surprises? Check, 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 and check. Know before you go. Check with the KSL 5 weather specialists.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
UCCU is both a credit union and a full-service mortgage company.
Which means that UCCU always provides the lowest rates and lower insurance premiums than other lenders. When your mortgage rate and insurance premium are lower, your monthly payment is also lower. It's just science. That's more money you can put into your home.
Or back into your pocket.
So if you're thinking about buying or refinancing a home, talk to us.
The credit union that's been putting people over profits for over 60 years.
It's what I do.
It's what I do.
It's what we do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the UCCU Center on the campus of Utah Valley University. Alongside Ben Aird, I am Brandon Crow. Thank you for being a part of our evening here tonight. Thank you for letting us be a part of yours as well. It is Salute to Service night, packed house here at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley's final home game, final regular season game, Ben, before the conference tournament next week. The game on Saturday against Chicago State was canceled due to the potential threat of the outbreak of that coronavirus going out. But right now, Utah Valley, they had senior night early on. You remember how that goes. How do you collect yourself to get ready for this final game here at home?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely has to be a little bit of emotion, right? Thinking that your last game at the UCCU Center was going to be Saturday. Now it's on Thursday. Actually, in preparation for this, went back and watched my senior night.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it's a night that's full of emotion. You know, for these seniors, their college career is coming to an end. I mean, I know we still have the WAC tournament and other games to be played, but there's a lot of emotion that it's your last home game as a senior. And I remember Coach Hunsaker always telling us, you have to send these seniors out with a win. They deserve it. They've put in the time. And so I think everyone on the team, their focus is, let's get a win on our home court tonight.
Starting lineups for Kansas City. Again, this will be the Roos, potentially the final time that the Roos come in here in the UCCU Center, at least as part of the Western Athletic Conference. Kansas City as well as, Bakersfield will be leaving the conference at the end of this season. So starting lineups for the Roos of Kansas City in their dark navy blues with the white trim on the outside, coming up right after this tip-off here. Buckle up, everybody. Hope it's a fun one. Utah Valley in their home whites with the green trim. Take it. Isaiah White, TJ Washington, Brandon Averett, Casson Jardine, and Eman Alojapoki round out the Wolverines. And for the Roos on the other side, Zion Williams, Brandon McKissick, Frank Camgain, Jordan Giles, and Josiah Alec. 6 on the shot clock. TJ Washington, one of the seniors, drives. Eman Alojapoki, another senior, puts it back up and in. And you mentioned early on, Ben, that this Kansas City team, they are really a balanced breakfast, a whole balanced breakfast, and they can hit you from really any angle.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of looking at their starting five and team as a general, as a whole, you know, very balanced in their scoring attack and who can go off at any given night.
McKissick gets the scoring started for the Roos. Quick 2-2 ball game early on here. Eman Alojapoki kicks it back out to TJ Washington. Head fake, drives. Misses the layup. And this game does have some sort of implication heading into the conference tournament next week. Of course, you don't want to lose any confidence heading into that conference tournament. Alec from the top of the key. That one's good. Love that throwback hairstyle from Alec. He's got a throwback game as well. Nice jump shot. The Wolverines trying to respond on the other side here. Washington playing in the 63rd game as Wolverine. Gives to Casson Jardine, who gets fouled on the baseline. That foul will go against Josiah Alec.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to be said about wanting to be in a rhythm going into the WAC tournament, and just not just for standing purposes, but just how you're playing as a team.
White kicks out to Jardine. Jardine now to Averett on the outside. Averett drives, 7 on the shot clock. Kicks it back out, 5. Jardine's going to get called for a travel. The Roos coming into this one, Ben, have won 3 straight games and 6 of their last 9 overall. So, again, this Kansas City team, no slouch, very athletic. And they're a team that likes to get their punches early on in the game and really set their opponents back. And Utah Valley throwing a little punch defensively there, getting that turnover. Jardine drives on the left side, trying to throw it away. Turnover here. Kansas City in air, gets a layup to fall. And Kansas City quickly out to a 7-2 lead. Not even a full 3 minutes left. So they're going to call that foul on Brandon McKissick. That'll be his first personal foul.
I think, as you mentioned, Kansas City likes to get out to a good start, and you look back at the last time these two played, it went right down to the wire. And so I think that's something that the Wolverines one of the keys to the game is having that energy initially to match what we know Kansas City is going to come out with.
Averett. Isaiah White now wants a three of his own, and Isaiah White gets it. When Isaiah White can start to cook a little bit early on, that provides a lot of good eating for Utah Valley.
It certainly does. When one person gets going, it kind of feeds. Everyone feeds off of that, and Isaiah's been that spark plug, per se, for the team throughout the course of this year, most definitely.
They're going to call an offensive foul against Kansas City. Josiah Alec, the guilty party. That's his second personal foul. Wolverines trail by 2. And Jashir Hardnett checking in the game. TJ Washington splits the defense, takes on 4 Kansas City defenders, puts it up in the cup.
What a great play there, splitting the double team and just strong finish at the rim. And he's definitely known for doing that. He's done that many times on this court.
Another wide open three from the top of the key. This one comes off left from Kansas City. Zion Williams misses it. Brandon Averett now trying to go coast to coast, gives way to Isaiah White, who has his jersey tugged from behind. And that foul's going to go against Williams. TJ Washington looking for some help on the inbound, finds Alojapoki, quickly gets it back out to Isaiah White. All tied up 7 apiece. Washington back to Cassie Jardine. Jardine trying to drive baseline, gets stopped. Back around the outside, top of the key now to Washington. Makes his move now. Washington with 7. Throws it back to Averett with 5, 4, 3. Averett drives 2. Kiss off the glass, no good. And I think it was inadvertently put back up and in. Oh, they're going to wave it off, say no basket. And they're going to call Eman Alojapoki with the offensive foul. Wave off the basket. And that'll take us to our first media timeout. All tied up 7 apiece in Orem, Utah. Wolverines in the Roos. We'll be back after this.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent.
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
And the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
Back in Orem, Utah, early on in the contest between the Kansas City Roos and the Wolverines of Utah Valley, 7 apiece. Right now, leading scorers for Utah Valley, Isaiah White with 3 points, TJ Washington and Eman Alojapoki 2 points apiece. And the scores right now is for Kansas City is Brandon McKissick. He's got 4, and he's on the bench. So currently projected to go back out there on the court for Kansas City, still looking for their first points.
Yeah, very, very even, first 5 minutes of the game. Both teams kind of getting their punches. Great finish there by E-Man that was waved off at the end. Unfortunately, very athletic finishes. We know that he can do that, make plays that are very, very athletic, but very even half so far.
I think athletic might be E-Man's middle name. I don't know.
That's very true. Something I was not blessed with.
Yeah, right. Kansas City coming out of that timeout with the ball. 17 on the clock. McKissick's going to pull up a jump shot. That one's going to rim off. And you see the athleticism there from Kansas City hanging in the air to get that rebound. Another reset. Whitfield is going to pull it back, get his team ready. Whitfield going to drive, push back. Giles, McKissick with 6 on the clock. Gives back to Whitfield with 4, 3, 2. He's trapped. Desperation heave. No good. And a shot clock violation. Solid defense there from Utah Valley.
That was a great job by Isaiah White. The first thing a coach will teach you is on those possessions, don't jump, don't bail the player out, which he stood his ground and forced a very tough shot and a shot clock violation. That's exactly what you want to see from a coach's perspective in terms of team defense.
Averett. Jardine working against White. Averett now with single digits. Got to make a move with 6, 5. Washington now. Averett 4, 3. Behind the back. Spin move 1. Tried to put it up. And they're going to say a shot clock violation against Utah Valley. So back-to-back 60 seconds full between Utah Valley and Kansas City with nobody touching the rim.
It's almost like Kansas City heard me. They did the exact same thing as Isaiah White did, which is exactly what you would want to do from a defensive standpoint. Hold your ground and force a tough shot.
Hartnett walks the ball. Past the timeline. Giles. Whitfield. Hartnett. Giles again. Nesbitt in low. White gets blocked from behind. And White trying to put the rebound up and in, and they're going to call a foul on the 3rd attempt here. And that one's going to go against Isaiah White. They're going to call him for a push.
The senior E-Man doing what he does best, blocking shots. One of the nation's leaders.
Already earlier this season, just a few weeks ago here on his home turf, set the school record for single season block shots. Right now he currently has 79. The previous record was 72. And J.J. Overton and Brandon Morley will come on for Isaiah White and E-Man Alojipoki.
Luckily for me, he doesn't have a few more years because I think he'd break my career block record. I just had a few more games than him or he would have shattered that record, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know Holton and I, we've talked about it earlier throughout this season. When you look at him, it doesn't seem like, the Alonzo Mourning, the Dikembe Mutombo type, but once he gets out there playing, he just seems to extend himself.
Yeah, I think he probably wishes he had that 7-foot body, but he's got unbelievable timing and athleticism, and that's what makes a great shot blocker.
T.J. Washington drives, dishes, Overton, up and in. J.J. Overton's another guy who's got that sneaky athleticism built up inside that smaller frame.
He most certainly does. Did a great job of hanging there, kind of double clutching and finishing a strong way up.
Nesbitt looking for some help on the outside. Hartnett thought about it, puts it back on the ground, dribbles around. Another three-pointer in the corner. This one comes up short. Rebounded by Utah Valley. Now T.J. Washington past the timeline. Washington lobs in low. Brandon Morley. Nice hands to catch that. Couldn't quite finish at the cup. Utah Valley on top, 9-8. There's a lob to White. And White gets swatted from behind by Brandon Morley. So back-to-back possessions for the Wolverines with back-to-back defensive blocks. Nesbitt to White. White gives way to Hartnett. And big Brandon Morley gets his paws on it for a steal turnover. Brandon Averett keeps it himself, drives baseline, puts it up. And they're going to say that that ball was tipped, and it will stay Utah Valley possession. Coach Madsen thought there was some physical contact that might have given way for a foul. Referees decided to disagree.
Yes, I think Coach and Brandon both thought there was some significant contact there, but looks like the refs thought otherwise.
So TJ Washington will inbound from the baseline, 16 on the clock. Kansas City has not made an offensive field goal in the last 7 trips, 5 minutes. Wolverines trying to capitalize offensively on Kansas City's offensive woes. And that right there is just pure textbook from J.J. Overton. That's been his favorite spot all year.
Yeah, he's really come on strong here at the end of the season, and that mid-range jumper is his, as you mentioned, go-to move.
Kansas City puts it on the floor, and I can hear that smack from here. And they're going to call that on Brandon Morley. And big Brad Kitchen, the senior, getting some early minutes here. And I'm sure he'll get an ovation and a lot of claps from the fans and from his bench. And if you're just now tuning into your first Wolverine basketball game this year, 1, shame on you. But 2, Brad Kitchen, you're missing out on a great story. The local homegrown kid from about 15 minutes down the road, Springville, dreamed of being a Division I basketball player, came here to Utah Valley, has been a manager, and then just this past offseason, Coach Madsen invites him in, says, hey, why don't you stop managing and strap it on with us here for your final senior season. And what a great moment it has been to watch Brad and see the joy that he brings his teammates. As TJ Washington, who gets called for the travel on the other end.
What a great story. And Brad, they mentioned as they announced the seniors, that he might be the greatest teammate in UVU history, which is, I don't think there's a better title than that.
Absolutely.
A better compliment.
We'll take a quick break. Under 12 media timeout. Utah Valley on top 11-9 in Orem.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to leave it all on the mat, because that's what I do when I get it done so I can do it. Yeah! I'm on a new level.
Give your head a Mountain Dew kickstart.
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
Favorite with a 1-point lead for the Wolverines, splits a defender, gets tripped in the process. So that foul will go against Jashir Hardnett. That'll be his first. Trey Woodbury comes off. And Brandon Averett will go to the free throw line. His first trip on the evening. And he makes it first. Averett, who's been averaging about 13 points per game this season for the Wolverines. Makes a second free throw. And Averett coming off of a couple 20-plus point performances, including a career high just a couple weeks ago as well here in Utah Valley. 26 points there. Wolverines with a 3-point lead, and you heard the Utah Valley bench, they all were shouting something, and it kind of startled UMKC there, and they didn't know what to do, so they called a timeout. And we'll take a timeout with them as well. Utah Valley on top by 3 here in Orem, Utah, on the WAC Digital Network.
I've been inspired by strong female athletes, female coaches, women in power. They just really taught me how to be a leader and inspired me to take on leadership roles. It's important to inspire the next generation because it's important to give kids someone to look up to. it's important to have these mentors. I would say to someone who wants to play sports at the D1 level, you got to be good in the community, good in the classroom, and to show people that sports do not define you.
Welcome back to Orem, Utah on this Thursday evening. A little warmer Thursday evening as of late locally. And I'll take that, absolutely, before more snow decides to make its way down here.
Can't beat it. The spring weather's getting me itching. It's nice. It's really wonderful out there.
Brandon Crow alongside Ben Aird. Thank you for joining us here on the WAC Digital Network, the KSL streaming app as well. Our courtside director, producer, all-around engineer extraordinaire, Ben Schroeder with us. Apologize for some technical difficulties, but he was able to piece it all back together nicely for us. Right now, your leading scorer for Utah Valley and for the game is J.J. Overton with 7 points here in this first half. And then for Kansas City, you have two players with 5 points apiece. And Jordan Giles and Brandon McKissick as well. And McKissick will inbound. With about 8 minutes left here in this first half. And it's almost like both these teams, they're trying to go into the pool. They're all on the outside. They got their toes in the water. They're just kind of feeling it out. But I'm ready for one of them to just really jump in and make a big splash here in this first half. And I guess you can count that right there, Ben. Brandon McKissick tacks on 3 more to his point total.
Yeah, it's been interesting, the flow of the game. The Wolverines switched to a zone, and it kind of gave Kansas City a little bit of fits, and then they call that timeout and then come out and get a 3.
J.J. Overton almost was able to get the and one. That ball didn't drop through the hole, but he'll go back to the free throw line. So McKissick and Overton tied up at 7 points apiece. Overton trying to tack on a couple more from the charity stripe. And Overton a little bit too long, and that one's off the heel. All tied up 18 apiece, 7:30 left in the first half. Kansas City, Hardnett to Williams. Williams calling for a screen. Gets just enough to penetrate with Hartnett. Hartnett, who averages about 9 points a game, already now with a quick 4. Brandon Averett comes off fighting that physical screen there. Isaiah White drives, count it, and the foul. Isaiah White. We've been seeing a lot more aggression offensively from Isaiah White, where he's been able to go, drive, get the contact, and put it up and in like that.
Yeah, and we've seen that already a few times this game, where he absorbs. He's doing a wonderful job of taking on the contact, absorbing it with his body, and having the strength to finish. Just a tremendous finish by him. We've seen that already, I believe, twice in this game, and over the past several games. He does a great job with that.
So Coach Madsen and his staff are trying to explain themselves and their side with Brandon Averett to the officials about how he came around from the screen, and the officials were saying he was kind of selling it a little bit, leaning back. The official said that's the 3rd time that he's done it, so we'll try and keep tally ourselves here.
Keep an eye on it for sure.
So 21-20, Utah Valley on top of Kansas City. A quick inlet pass, jump shot. Giles gets his own rebound, strong rebound at that. Misses his second opportunity. Ball bouncing all over the place, and they're going to call a foul against the Wolverines.
Something that we'll have to keep an eye on as this game progresses. If Utah Valley stays in their zone, is giving up those offensive rebounds. That's the key to a good zone defense, is not giving that up, and we've seen Kansas City able to get a couple.
White gets stripped. And then a foul called before another block shot from E-Man. And they're going to call this foul on Kazan Jardine. a little sloppy over the last minute and a half or so.
It feels like the overall physicality of the game has picked up on both sides of the court.
Javen White makes his first free throw. And White doesn't get the second one to go. Kansas City still trails 21-20. Washington down low to Averett. Averett stops, goes right back to the hole, kicks it back out. Washington for three. That one too strong. Jardine tips it back to Averett. Averett gets stripped. Good defensive play there from Cam Gain. Bodies on the floor. And they're going to call a foul on Brandon Averett for a trip.
It looks like Brandon was trying to front the post there. They kind of got tangled up, and the ref thought there was a little more contact on the side of Averett, although it could have gone either way.
So that'll send Jordan Giles to the line. Giles already now with 5 points on the evening. Trying to tack on a couple more. And Giles makes the first. Giles, coming out of SEC territory, the pride of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Jordan Giles, the senior, contributing about a little over 10 points per game for the squad. And a 50% field goal percentage so far. And he connects both at the free throw line. So he, along with Brandon McKissick, both the leading scorers for Kansas City at 7 points apiece. And with those two free throws, Kansas City retakes the lead, 23-21. 5:40 left in the first half. Emmanuel Ojapokye now to Washington. Washington back to Overton. Overton on the drive, spins, creates a space, and that is just silky smooth.
Yeah, Brent, in Overton, when he gets to that mid-range, I mean, that is where he feels most confident, and it is, I mean, that was smooth as butter right there.
You can see the confidence really brewing for J.J. Overton as he's picking up his defensive skills as well. Hardnett. 10 on the shot clock, kicks it back out. Giles for three, and that's a beautiful stroke there. Jordan Giles now first in double digits with 10 points. Kansas City on top by 3, 26-23. 4:50 left in the first.
Hey, Rover!
Isaiah White's going to step into a three, and he knew that was off as soon as it left his hand. Kansas City with the rebound. Hardnett. Cam Gain. Cam Gain now with 10. Back up to Hardnett with 8, 7, 6. Clock continues. Hardnett creates a space and a putback jam from White. Javen White rising and throwing it down. Largest lead of Kansas City's evening so far, 28-23. The Wolverines will call a timeout to think this one over. We'll be right back in Orem, Utah. Kansas City on a little bit of a run.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU, inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
When you know before you go how the latest breaking news, traffic, and weather will affect you, that equals a good morning. Wake up with the news specialists on KSL Today. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Give your head a Mountain Dew kickstart.
I'm not sure if that's a member of the Utah Valley flag football inter-squad team or something, but we got ourselves a quarterback up there with an arm. He's chucking some T-shirts to some lucky fans with a giant fishnet. Some fun stuff here for the students.
I was thinking he might be a part of the baseball team. He's got a cannon.
Utah Valley trailing Kansas City right now 23-28 here at home. Their leading scorer, game high and team high right now, is Jordan Giles for Kansas City. 2 of 5 from the floor, 10 total points. Only taken 2 3-pointers, but he's made one of them, and that last 3-pointer came just about 40 seconds ago. 5 of 6 from the free throw line. So Giles has already been to the free throw line 6 times.
And Kansas City staying true to who they are, very balanced. We've talked about this, but very balanced attack. They can hurt you with so many different people, and they've shown that so far, not just with Giles, but with some of the other team members.
So T.J. Washington and company kind of try and turn it up here as Eman Alojapoki trying to save it. Gives the ball right back to Kansas City. Harden it now with about 3:40 left in the game. In the first half here with 20 on the clock. Cam Gain, Wood Williams, Jaden White. Cam Gain gets fouled in the process. And a very questionable call.
Looked to me like he might have just lost the ball, but it's hard to tell. I don't know if we've got a replay of that, but
the Frank Cam Gain at the free throw line capitalizes on the whistle. They hear a whistle, and they just go, okay, we'll go to the free throw line.
I had a wise coach once tell me that if the ref calls it, it's a foul. Regardless of whether you want it to or not, if the ref calls it, it's a foul.
Not much else he can do. T.J. Washington loses the ball. No whistle is blown. Cam Gain takes it, puts it right back up and in. Washington getting up, frustrated visibly, and he's going to want this back. 23-31, largest lead for Kansas City tonight. 3 minutes left in the first, and Washington gets fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, credit to Kansas City. They're being a little more physical. The referees are letting them do that, and they've been able to take advantage a few times here. The Wolverines will have to match that level of physicality and intensity.
T.J. Washington on senior night trying to tame his emotions here. Eman Alojapoki comes off. Trey Woodbury comes on. And Washington misses both. So Kansas City with 3 minutes left in the first half. And a 31-23 lead, whips the ball around the top of the key. Hardnett, an extra pass in the corner, and that one's good from Whitfield. 11-point Kansas City lead, and the Roos really in the last 2 minutes have jumped out on Utah Valley, a 14-2 run over the last 3.5 minutes. J.J. Overton. Gets fouled from Jashira Hartnett, and they're going to say he was in the act of shooting going up. So he's going to get 2 free throws.
Yeah, the Wolverines need some much-needed points here. As you mentioned, credit to Kansas City having gone on a 14-2 run. A lot of that has been due to what they've been able to do on defense, and that's led to offense.
So 3 straight misses at the charity stripe for Utah Valley, and you just simply got to be a little bit better than that.
It's tough. I mean, you've got to make them.
Overton makes the second. So now J.J. Overton becomes the first Wolverine tonight in double digits with 10. J.J. Overton 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Right now, as a team, Utah Valley shooting 50% from the charity stripe. So can't knock on them too quickly yet. But an offensive foul is called on the other side. This one's going to go against Jordan Giles. And that'll be his second personal foul.
Let's go Utah Valley.
Klein's check. Mox Klein's check from Slovenia checks into the game for the first time. 10-point Kansas City lead with 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Isaiah White back out to Washington. Washington keeps it. Very interesting how that seemed to me to be the same exact play that happened to Brandon Avery at the top of the key.
It does, and that was something that Coach Matson pointed out to the referees to keep a close eye on, is how they're kind of checking the guards in essence when they drive, and we're able to get the call there.
Washington regains a little bit more composure at the free throw line. See if he can do it again. And he does. It's the senior, averaging 13 points a game. Right on track. But again, over the last 2 weeks, Coach Manson has praised Washington for being one of those players that'll do anything that he asks him to. Just a couple weeks ago here on this court, he came up with 13 assists, which is 1 assist shy of the school record in a single game. And so TJ Washington, that senior leadership that Coach Manson desperately needed here. Now on the defensive side, Kansas City with 5 on the clock. Cam Gain with 3, desperation heave. Oh! I think that one might have hit the ceiling before it came down, right in the middle of the net. 37-26, Kansas City back on top by 11. Cam Gaines' prayer coming down with some rain. TJ Washington, big Brandon Morley gets the reverse layup.
It looks like TJ was trying to get the foul call and was unsuccessful in that cause, but it's a great job by Brandon Morley getting that rebound and putting it back.
And that one will sail right over your head. You still got the hands. Nice hands, big fella. So 53 seconds in the first half. 17 on the shot clock. Cam Gain gets it inbounds. Nine on the clock for Kansas City. Brandon Morley gets a hand on it. Morley was trying to get the referees to take a look at it, saying that White, his back at least, was out of play. Kansas City 4-3. White got to get it up, and White gets stripped. Trey Woodbury. Woodbury behind the back. Back out to Washington. About 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. J.J. Overton drives, runs into 3 Kansas City Roos. And Utah Valley gives the ball right back to Kansas City, who will go ahead and take their time and set up for the final shot in the first half. 10. 8 on the clock. McKissick, a deep 3, and he comes up way short.
A little bit of a heat check as he was the one that hit previously. Felt confident there.
Trey Woodbury. TJ Washington had more time. Counts if it goes. Just barely misses. Could have taken a couple more steps. Not quite the second half of that first half that Utah Valley drew up on the board pregame, as they will go into the break trailing 28-37 to Kansas City. But on the other side, Ben, if you're Coach Billy Donlin, you got to be happy with how Kansas City really pounced on Utah Valley in the end.
Yeah, they went on that big run, about 14-2 run, and you have to be pleased with the way the physicality on defense and how that transitioned to easy buckets, and they made some tough buckets as well. But yeah, you're certainly pleased with how the half ended, and if you're the Wolverines, you need to come work on a few things. I mean, and bring some physicality and intensity here in the second half.
Again, your halftime score in Orem, Utah, Kansas City 37, Utah Valley 28. We'll step aside. Halftime here at the UCCU Center.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
Smooth sailing.
More traffic.
Great looking day ahead.
More weather.
New details are emerging.
More breaking news. Whenever, wherever.
That's good news.
More ways to know before you go.
You're going to like the morning commute.
On KSL Today. Weekday mornings on KSL 5.
If we can see things for what they are. If we can see what they could be. If the plastic we use, we never throw away. If the end of one thing could be the beginning of the next. If we know that less can create more. If we can return, we reciprocate, we regenerate. If we are here for others. If we can work as a team. All we have to do is connect, and the world opens up. The future is about giving back.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU. Inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else?
In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life. If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Chevrolet. I promise you'll love it.
Who am I? And furthermore, what do I want? What makes you itch? That's the most important investigation anyone can make. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Because if you say that money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
I have been inspired by strong female athletes, female coaches, women in power. They just really taught me how to be a leader and inspired me to take on leadership roles. It's important to inspire the next generation because it's important to give kids someone to look up to. You know, it's important to have these mentors. I would say to someone who wants to play sports at the D1 level, you've got to be good in the community, good in the classroom, and to show people that sports do not define you.
Experienced? Check. Accurate? Check. The team more Utahns trust to stay safe from winter weather surprises? Check, 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 and check. Know before you go. Check with the KSL 5 weather specialists.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
And don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life.
if you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Hyundai. I promise you'll love it.
The path to true success is achieved through determination.
With the goal!
Determination to grow, to push through, and to finish. Utah Valley student athletes strive for these qualities. UVU student athletes need your support from the community, their peers, and their families to achieve this growth and success in life.
Has an opportunity, laid down, and there it is! A dive into third base.
Support from donors like you makes a significant impact on the lives of more than 370 Wolverines student athletes. The General Athletic Scholarship Fund will help our student athletes be successful in the classroom, on the field, and in life. Please support our student athletes with a personal donation and watch these men and women grow now and in the future.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Halftime just about over here in Orem, Utah. Wolverines trailing 37-28 to the Kansas City Roos. Brandon Crow alongside Ben Ayer. Thanks for joining us here on the WAC Digital Network. Ben, senior night, we know we talked about this earlier in the first half. Lots of emotions coming out. And Utah Valley really trying to put those emotions aside and just really focus at the task at hand here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to give us some credit to Kansas City. They've come out the way they finished that second half. I mean, you got to give them some credit. They were tough. They were physical. They made some tough baskets. Now the Wolverines need to have some pride, right? This is senior night. This is these seniors' last chance on this home court, and they need to leave it all out on the floor and get that win.
We'll see what happens here in the second half. We'll see what Coach Madsen and his staff have drawn up here for the Wolverines. But if you're Coach Billy Tomlin, I mean, really not that much else to change. I would just say keep being the aggressor, keep pushing down on that pedal.
I agree, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see which team is the aggressor in the first 5 minutes of the second half. You know, whose foot is going to be on the gas pedal and kind of push that effort.
Utah Valley again in their home whites with the green trim, and Kansas City in their road navies with the white on the outside, the yellow across their chests, and the numbers as well. It'll be Kansas City ball to start off this second half. McKissick. Alec, back to McKissick. Now Giles. Giles going behind his back, trying to create space. Good defense there from Cass and Jardine. Somehow he was able to get that to fall over a leaping Jardine and a Lojapoki.
In the first play, they go to Giles. Isolation play for him. He's had the hot hand, and he did a great job of getting the bucket.
Jardine now to Washington. Washington drives. Teardrop float. No good off the back iron. Ball on the floor, rebounded by Kansas City.
Strong power.
28-39. Kansas City on top. Alec back out. Cam Gain. Alec again back out on the outside. Alec again trying to post up against Eman Alojapoki, and Alojapoki gets called for the foul after he blocked it. And that's Eman Alojapoki's second personal foul.
Looked like one of those where he blocks the shot and the follow through just makes enough contact where the referee blows the whistle.
Alec makes the first free throw. Josiah Alec, the freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska.
If only we could all have that good of a hairdo,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, I'd rock it if I could pull it off.
And they're going to say T.J. Washington stepped out of bounds on that last play. So it'll stay Kansas City ball. Williams. Cam Gain. McKissick with the quick trigger. And that one had a target and went straight for it as soon as it left its hand.
Yeah, that was a pretty play. The double down screen for McKissick coming off, and he just buries the three.
Jardine trying to answer. That one rattles out. Largest lead for Kansas City, 43-28. Kansas City finished off the first half, making their last 4 of 5, and really showed no signs of slowing down in the early stages of the second half. Williams back out to Giles. Cam Gain down low. And if that's on E-Man, that's his third personal. And that will be on E-Man. So one senior coming out for another. Brandon Morley checks in. Cam Gain, McKissick again. Giles spots up. Corner three, no good. Here comes Utah Valley. Averett cross court to Washington. Washington back to Jardine. Jardine on the floor, drives. Isaiah White with the rebound, tries to go up with it, gets stripped. Here comes Kansas City. McKissick, burst of speed, driving, swatted away by Kazdan Jardine. Great athletic play by Kazan Jardine. And Utah Valley trying to capitalize on the offensive side. Instead, gives the ball right back to Kansas City. But what an amazing play by Jardine.
Yeah, and that's the type of energy play that can hopefully kind of turn the momentum, but he was able to torque his body in midair and block the shot. What an unbelievable highlight.
And avoid the contact.
Exactly.
McKissick now to Giles with 9 on the clock. Giles working against Jardine. A lot of contact there. Giles gets stripped from behind. Here comes Brandon Averett. Averett trying to find some way to get around his defender. A lot of contact. Averett drives. Gets fouled in the process. And they're going to debate here. They're going to say that the basket counts. They're going to call interference on Kansas City for grabbing the net. So Brandon Averett will go to the line to complete the three-point play here.
Yeah, tough drive from Brandon Averett. He had contact out at midcourt and fought it all the way down for the tough layup. And Kansas City grabbing the net, getting the and one.
Nesbitt checks back in. Giles is going to take a break. Giles still the leading scorer with 12 points for Kansas City. Brandon Averett, who's already had 2 made baskets from the charity stripe, makes it 3. Perfect 3 of 3 tonight. 5 total points. 31-43, Wolverines still trail. 16:50 left in the second half here.
Wolverines trying to shake up the momentum, going back to the zone. We'll see if Kansas City, how they'll attack this.
Cam Gain thought about it. 9 on the clock. Back to Cam Gain with 6. 5. Cam Gain on the floor. Dishes. Rejected by Isaiah White, but a foul again in the process. Kansas City gets bailed out with 2 seconds on the shot clock, and that'll be Isaiah White's second personal foul. Marvin Nesbitt makes the first free throw. And Nesbitt misses the second. TJ Washington and the Wolverines trailing by 13. Need to find a spark plug offensively. And they're going to call a travel against TJ Washington. It's almost very stagnant here in the UCCU Center right now. Utah Valley needs that electrifying play, and what we've seen them make, especially recently in the last 2 home games. J.J. Overton going to check in at the scorer's table. Maybe he's that spark plug. Cam Gain, another deep 3. This one comes off short, but a big, strong rebound there by Williams. Gets it right back to Kansas City. Solid drive with the up and in off the glass there from Cam Gain. And a timeout called by Mark Madsen. 31-46, Kansas City on top big time here in Orem, Utah. And the Wolverines will think about it here. Billy Donlin and company cooking on all cylinders in Orem, Utah.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
pillow fight on the court between these students. But when the basketball is in play, it's been anything but a pillow fight here. Utah Valley trailing Kansas City 46-31 here in the second half. Brandon Crow alongside Ben Aird. And Ben, we talked about when we started the broadcast here in the second half that Utah Valley needed to be the aggressor. And Kansas City's come out in full force in the second half. They haven't stopped being the aggressor.
Yeah, we touched on that as being a key to the game. Which team was going to be more aggressive in the first 5 minutes? We've gone through that 5 minutes, and Kansas City has been the more aggressive team. And it's really going to have, we're going to have to see how the momentum, if the Wolverines can make some plays to shift that momentum.
Casson Jardine for the Wolverines, looking for some help. And Brandon Averett back to Jardine. Isaiah White in the corner. And they're going to call a foul against Kansas City. And Zion Williams is going to call himself out as he limps and hobbles off on his own. So that's a positive sign, but he's going to go have the trainer take a look at it. And that'll take us to our media timeout. So we'll take another break here. 31-46, Wolverines trail on their home court. You're watching WAC Digital Network.
I have been inspired by strong female athletes, female coaches, women in power. They just really taught me how to be a leader and inspired me to take on leadership roles. It's important to inspire the next generation because it's important to give kids someone to look up to. You know, it's important to have these mentors. I would say to someone who wants to play sports at the D1 level, you've got to be good in the community, good in the classroom, and to show people that sports do not define you.
Kansas City Roos led by Coach Billy Donlin, 46-31 on top of Utah Valley. And Kansas City joining Bakersfield are the two teams leaving this Western Athletic Conference at the end of this year, at the end of the basketball season, really. And Tarleton State will come into the mix along with Dixie State. They will join the Western Athletic Conference. And if this is the final swan song for Kansas City here in this building, in this conference against Utah Valley, they're putting up some great numbers here. Casson Jardine and Utah Valley trying to become victorious on senior night. Brandon Averett kicks it back out. J.J. Overton. Overton with that pull-up jump shot, trying to fight for his own rebound. Gets it on the floor, trying to find a teammate. Great hustle from J.J. Overton, and beautiful hustle there from Javen White as well for Kansas City. Wolverines trail 46-31 with 14:50 left to play. Hardnett drives. Back out in the corner. Three-pointer long. Rebounded by Brandon Averett. Here comes Utah Valley. Averett behind the back, drives. Kicks it back out. Casson Jardine. Now back to Averett. Averett clearing out here with 10 on the shot clock. Goes left, splits the defense, drives with the floater. Goes in and out. Utah Valley over the last 3 minutes can't buy a bucket.
Great execution. The shot just would not seem to drop. There seems to be a lid on the basket right now for the Wolverines.
Kansas City now with 10 on the shot clock. McKissick going to keep it himself, and he's going to drain it. Brandon McKissick now with 12 points, leading all scorers for Kansas City and in the game. 5 of 8 from the floor right now, Brandon McKissick. (31-48) Wolverines trail. Brandon Averett in low. Brandon Morley with the jam and the foul.
There's a great read there by senior Brandon Morley. He saw that the defense was playing high, instead of setting the screen, he slips the screen because the lane is open, and a great two-handed finish with the and-one dunk. Maybe the energy play that the Wolverines need.
They definitely need something. And right now, no Wolverines rebounding. Coach Madsen sending everybody back, and Morley completes a three-point play. Nice touch from the big man. 34-48, 13:30 left to play. Hardnett tries to go against the big fella, instead pulls up, and Brandon Morley gets the rebound. Back out to Washington, now out to Brandon Averett. Averett drives, gets blocked. Good athleticism there from Rob Whitfield. Crowd starting to get a little bit more energized here at the UCCU Center, led by the student section. 10 on the clock. Hardnett with 7. Hardnett with 6, 5, 4. Dribbles, penetrates. J.J. Overton, great defense. And Hardnett misses the layup, rebounded by the Wolverines. The Wolverines need to capitalize on those missed opportunities from Kansas City. Hasn't been very many of them here in the second half. Trey Woodbury, wide open three-pointer from top of the key. That one rimmed all the way in and then came right back out.
It's frustrating as a player when you execute the play perfectly, get the shot you're looking for, and just won't seem to drop. We've seen that a few times on the last possessions.
Brandon Morley guarding Giles. Kicks it back out, wide open three-pointer. This one comes up short. Good box out there by Utah Valley. So 3 back-to-back defensive stops for the Wolverines and 3 back-to-back offensive stops for Kansas City. Something's got to give here. Good ball movement. Brandon Averett, top of the key. Bang! Biscuit. Three-pointer. 37-48.
And if you're the Wolverines, you just slowly chip away at this. There's still plenty of time left. An 11-point lead for Kansas City as basketball's a game of momentum.
6-0 run for the Wolverines in the last 3 minutes. And Whitfield's three-pointer comes off right. And it looks like Utah Valley just cast a spell against Kansas City. But then Kansas City comes right back with a defensive stop and a turnover. Hardnett going to slow the tempo. They know that Utah Valley likes to play that fast-paced style. Hardnett going to try and answer the droughts that they have had. The Roos have not made a field goal in the last 3 minutes. Giles driving against Morley. Morley contests the shot, grabs the rebound. Here comes TJ Washington. Utah Valley has numbers. Washington drives, gets the contact, puts it up and in. I don't know how he did it, but he did.
Yeah, his unbelievable body control there, and he just puts himself into the defender, and a wonderful finish there by the senior TJ Washington.
Single digits now, 39-48. Utah Valley an 8-0 run in the last 2.5 minutes. Washington takes the bait. Kansas City gets the rebound. Whitfield to Hardnett. McKissick on the floor. McKissick drives, gets the contact. Referees are letting him play here. McKissick now with 14 points. The duo between McKissick and Giles, 26 points between the two. Over half of Kansas City's point total. J.J. Overton doing it grown man style, doing it himself. 41-50. .9:30 left to play. Kansas City with the ball movement. Hardnett, Whitfield, Giles. Mid-range jumper, and that one's good. Brandon Averett, spin move. Trying to get the reverse. J.J. Overton couldn't get the putback. Kansas City quickly back out to that 11-point lead. And Kansas City now is just going to take their time every offensive possession. Hardnett Now McKissick with 9. McKissick with 8. McKissick drives. 5. Nobody there. And TJ Washington with the burst of speed. Brandon Morley to Trey Woodbury. J.J. Overton with the drive. Gets the contact on the floor. And that'll take us to a timeout, I believe. Immediate timeout. And that foul was against Rob Whitfield. But we'll take a break. 41-52, Utah Valley slowly chipping away at that Kansas City lead. We'll be back with more after this in Orem, Utah.
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become? It doesn't matter your situation in life.
No matter your interest.
Whether your first choice or second chance.
There's a place for you.
Place for you. Place for you at UVU. Place to engage, to rise, to succeed.
To become.
When you know before you go how the latest breaking news, traffic, and weather will affect you, that equals a good morning. Wake up with the news specialists on KSL Today, weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Kansas City has just made 2 of their last 10 field goals, and they staved off an 8-0 run by Utah Valley, who brought it down close to within 9. But then they went right back up to 11 points, and Kansas City right now is taking every punch Utah Valley's been throwing at them.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like this game was on the verge of almost getting out of control, right? Kansas City was controlling the pace and kind of getting what they want. Utah Valley comes in, goes on that 8-0 run. You know, credit to Kansas City. They responded, slowed down the tempo, and were able to get a few buckets to increase that lead back to 11. Will be interesting to see what the Wolverines can do here, because it looks like Mark Madsen, they want to push the tempo and try to cut into this lead as we've got about 8 minutes left.
TJ Washington inbound to J.J. Overton. 8:30 left in the second half. Washington, Brandon Morley, Isaiah White with 9 on the clock. Isaiah White drives with 7. Back out Woodbury. TJ Washington now with 4. 3. Washington loses the ball. And Washington on the floor. Looks like he's in a lot of pain, holding that left ankle. And J.J. Overton's called for a foul on the other side. And I haven't seen T.J. Washington like this all season. He's holding that left ankle.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see that. Washington going down. Looks like he might have rolled his ankle, but was trying to draw the foul. Kind of listening to what the referee said there. He says Washington was throwing himself in and trying to create the contact, but hopefully it's just a minor ankle sprain and nothing serious.
Maybe just a minor, just a scare, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it felt worse than it actually is.
Looks like he walked off on his own power, which is what you can hope for.
And I'm not sure if the referees are talking this amongst themselves, and they're going to come back and take a look at the monitor with this, which I think they will be. And they're going to call this immediate timeout. So we will take immediate timeout with them. Wolverines trail 41-52, Kansas City on top. We'll be right back after this.
Looking to spend that birthday money, Tyler? I'm just not sure which one to get. Well, they are both pretty cool. But saving some of that money would be pretty cool, too. Yep.
When's the right age to teach your children how to save and spend money wisely? Right now, with the Be Money Smart program only at Utah Community Credit Union. Inspiring smart decisions.
Students are playing tic-tac-toe in a competition. And right now, both coaches are trying to play the exact same with each other. Mark Madsen deep in the huddle with his team right now, trying to find that spark plug right before the break. TJ Washington for Utah Valley went down with an ankle injury. He's getting taped up right now as we speak by the trainers, his left ankle. And he got some extra tape. Gets his sock and his shoe back on. Kansas City on top, 52-41, and senior night here in Orem, Utah. And right now, Brandon McKissick for Kansas City leading all scorers with 14 points on 6 of 11 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3, and he hasn't gone to the free throw line one time. For the Wolverines, their leading scorer, J.J. Overton with 12 points, 5 of 7 from the floor, and a pair of free throws out of 5 trips. And McKissick doing work yet again, going right back up with that left hand off the glass. 16 total points now. (54-41). Brandon Averett. Trey Woodbury. Isaiah White, now Brandon Morley again. Back to Averett with 8 on the clock. Averett steps into a deep three. That one comes off the back heel. Javen White with the rebound for Kansas City. 7:20 left here in regulation. And it almost seems like, honestly, the energy has just been sucked out of this place.
Yeah, it certainly does from the crowd perspective and from the team perspective. The energy seems a little bit down.
Brandon Morley gets called for his second personal foul.
We'll have to see if the Wolverines have another push in them, right? I mean, you go on that 8-0 run and you kind of get right back in it, and Kansas City responds. You know, you have 7 minutes left as a senior. What you just got to leave it all out on the court and see what you can do here.
Frank Camgane makes his first free throw. Camgane, one of the great role players for this Kansas City team. Now he is in double digits with 10 points. Utah Valley trying to snap this drought that they've had over the last 3 minutes and some change here. Brandon Morley calling for it. Kicks it back out. J.J. Overton with 8 on the clock, pulls it back, 6 on the clock. Brandon Averett steps into a three-pointer, and that one comes off the back heel again. So 6:30 left in regulation. McKissick passed the timeline for Kansas City. Nesbitt, Williams, White, McKissick, down low to Williams, who gets it right back up before Isaiah White can get there. And quickly, just like that, Ben, 58-41, Kansas City's on top.
Credit to Kansas City, great execution on the past 2 possessions to get buckets underneath. It's a great job there by executing on the play calls by Kansas City.
So Eman Alojapoki will check back into the game, and Eman Alojapoki with 3 personal fouls. And TJ Washington will check back in. So that's good to see. Solid tape job will do wonders.
When the adrenaline's pumping as a player, you can play through most anything.
Averett receives the inbound in the corner. Stutter steps. Isaiah White now. Back out to Averett. Averett with 10 on the clock, drives. Back out to Washington with 6. Washington with 4. Washington with 2. Puts it up. And another travel called. So 5:30 left in regulation. 25 on the clock, and big collision there. TJ Washington is a little bit more energized. Gets a little, maybe a verbal warning from the official on the far side there. Giles can't get the shot off because the whistle was called. They're going to call that on Eman Aloja and that'll be his 4th personal foul.
Yeah, it's a tough call. It's a great job by White, I believe, from Kansas City, just getting deep in the post, and a great post up by him, and Eman got caught in a tough position.
So McKissick to inbound for Kansas City. Brandon Morley doing everything he can, man. You can't fault Brandon Morley tonight, showing a lot of heart, a lot of grit, diving, going against Javen White. Javen White travels. And Cassie Jardine comes in for Isaiah White. So 5 minutes left in regulation. Do the Wolverines have a miraculous comeback left in them for the senior swan song? If the referees would let him play here a little bit, then we might be able to figure it out. Last foul call against Cam Gain for Kansas City. Now TJ Washington gets the ball, trying to get it into Cassie Jardine and thrown away. McKissick to Cam Gain. Cam Gain back to McKissick. Give and go for 2 quick points. And Mark Madsen's going to call a timeout. Well, he's trying to. I mean, I don't know.
I heard him say timeout, but
I saw him
looks
right in
like
front of us, in front of our official.
Waved it off and said, let's keep playing.
Brandon Averett. Pull-up jumper from the elbow. That one too strong. And another rebound by Giles and company. Kansas City really taking it to Utah Valley here in the second half. TJ Washington to Averett in the corner. Averett gets around his defenders, tiptoes the baseline. Good ball movement from the Wolverines. Cassie Jardine comes up short. And I'm not sure what's happened with this Utah Valley team, but this is definitely not the Utah Valley team that we've seen at home in the last couple of games. Complete night and day difference here.
Yeah, and in all honesty, you've got to give a ton of credit to Kansas City. You know, they've done a good job of pushing the action all night, being tough, running their sets, and getting what they want.
That'll take us to our under 4 immediate timeout. Wolverines, it's looking grim for them here at home. Senior night. Kansas City, however, looking very fine. 60-41. The Roos are on top in Orem, Utah.
UCCU is both a credit union and a full-service mortgage company.
Which means that UCCU always provides the lowest rates and lower insurance premiums than other lenders.
When your mortgage rate and insurance premium are lower, your monthly payment is also lower.
It's just science.
That's more money you can put into your home.
Or back into your pocket.
So if you're thinking about buying or refinancing a home, talk to us.
The credit union that's been putting people over profits for over 60 years.
It's what I do.
It's what I do.
It's what we do.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else?
In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life. If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Chevrolet. I promise you'll love it.
Well, Ben, as we're looking at the stats here coming out of this media timeout, you made a mention about the plus-minus here. For those who are into those stats, you know, they do say something. And right now, the only guy who's positive right now for Utah Valley is Brandon Morley.
Yeah, and even that was an old stat sheet. Is every single person is now in the negative, and it's tough, right? I mean, it's uphill sledding when you get down. You know, you get down by 15, you fight to try to make something happen. And as I mentioned earlier, I've said this a few times on this broadcast, credit to Kansas City. You know, they've done a wonderful job of being tough and handling the punches that UVU has thrown at them.
Utah Valley has been on a scoring drought over the last 6 minutes. And in that same time span, Kansas City's been on a 10-0 run. Deep three-pointer there from Cassin Jardine. It's about time somebody made something from deep, let alone something at all.
Yeah, you can't win many games when you don't score, especially over a 6-minute span. Great job by Cassin, you know, getting that three-pointer to drop.
So 44-60. And Kansas City loses that one out of play, but last touched off of Utah Valley, they will say. McKissick checks back into the ball game. Again, that dynamic duo, McKissick and Giles tonight, have just been absolutely on fire. Jordan Giles with 14, Brandon McKissick with 18. And two of the main reasons why Utah Valley are trailing 44-60. Washington steals the inbound, gives it to Brandon Averett. And Isaiah White trying to be fancy behind the back, gets fouled in the process. And that'll be Jordan Giles' third personal foul. And we know that this isn't the Wolverines' last basketball game. They're going to the WAC tournament next week in Vegas, WAC Vegas. But you don't want to have a sour taste in your mouth here.
Yeah, and it's frustrating just from a player's perspective when you don't. You know, there's a lot of emotion. We've said this a few times. When you don't play up to what you hold yourself, that expectation that you hold yourself to on your senior night. So, you know, hopefully they can hit the reset button a little bit heading into WAC Vegas. And, hey, that's the great thing about WAC Vegas is anything can happen, right?
True. 46-60, 2:40 left to play. And Kansas City is just going to take their time, milk the clock for all it's worth. Giles doesn't get the jump shot to go. TJ Washington quickly to Brandon Averett. Cross-court pass. Isaiah White loses it. Kansas City in transition, it gets stopped. They're going to pull it back. And this will be a tough one. It'll be a tough pill to swallow for these Utah Valley Wolverines, especially these seniors here at home. Not the night that they wanted to go out on. But we'll see what lies in store for the Wolverines next week in WAC Vegas. I mean, we thought that this Utah Valley team had turned it around just a couple weeks ago, playing honestly the best basketball that they've had all season long, taking the #1 team, New Mexico State, all the way down to the wire, getting beat by just a desperation last-second shot, and then coming out and destroying Grand Canyon. And then you come out and look at this, and it's really a head-scratcher.
It is. And hopefully, you know, if you take a look at it from the Wolverine perspective, hopefully it's an outlier, right? you can take a look at the film, figure out what went wrong, and make those adjustments. You know, growing up as a kid, a fan who loves basketball, March Madness, anything can happen in WAC Vegas, and all teams are going to have that approach that if we win this, you know, we're going to have a chance at playing in March Madness postseason basketball, and really anything can happen. So tough pill to swallow, not the outcome we would hope for.
Count the bucket. And Isaiah White will go to the free throw line to try and complete the three-point play. So that last foul was on Nesbitt. That'll be his 5th personal, so his night is through. And I think Billy Donlin's going to try and call a timeout here. I'm not sure why. Maybe to get some seniors in. I don't know.
I think we had someone foul out, actually. Nesbitt. I believe that may have been his 5th foul.
So Isaiah White at the free throw line. White with 12 points, 4 of 5 from the floor tonight on the evening. And with that free throw, it makes it 13 points and a perfect 4 of 4 from the charity stripe. So 49-60. And a foul's called against the Wolverines. And that'll be J.J. Overton with the foul. That'll be his 3rd personal. And Williams makes his free throw. 3 points on the evening for Williams. 4 rebounds, 2 assists to go along with it. And Williams misses the second. But T.J. Washington with about a little less than 20-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Give it to Isaiah White. Back out to Jardine. Now Averett in the corner. Averett pulls up a jump shot. That one no good. And about a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And T.J. Washington steals it, and he'll lay it up and in to get the Wolverines past 50. I was a little nervous there that the Wolverines weren't going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like, you know, Kansas City was relaxing, thinking, hey, we've got the game's over, and Washington was able to get that.
So we'll keep it here with 18.5 seconds left. Now, again, this has just been a funky week for these teams in particular. The whole coronavirus situation is really put everybody in this frenzied panic mode. And Chicago State has canceled their last couple of games here, so Utah Valley was in their mindset. That's got to be an interesting mindset to go and thinking that you're going to be having 2 games, and really it was in the 11th hour because last night is when the announcement was made.
Yeah, I mean, that's a mindset switch that has to take place. I mean, it's tough that this is their last game, right, for the seniors at the UCCU Center, but they'll just have to take that into account and move forward with WAC Vegas.
Coach Madsen saying don't foul. McKissick to Giles to Whitfield. Kansas City being pestered. Williams again with it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. And at the horn, Utah Valley will lose by 10. 61-51, Kansas City victorious over Utah Valley. And Wolverines are going to try and right the ship here. They got next week going down to WAC Vegas, and they will take on the rest of the competition here. And if they play like this, it'll be a quick trip in Sin City.
It will. Yeah, they're going to have to hit the reset button, watch some film, see what they can work on, and go in hopefully with a good game plan to hopefully have a long week there, right?
Tip your hats off to Billy Donlin and his Kansas City Roos. They played the way that they needed to tonight, and they really stifled Utah Valley. They got the big victory against 61-51. that'll conclude our coverage here from Orem, Utah, our basketball coverage. Barring some miracle where Utah Valley makes it even further in the tournament. But, Ben, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us this season, and look forward to having you again in the future.
Appreciate it. You don't have to pull my arm to get me in the UCCU Center to talk about basketball. It's what I love to do, so thanks for having me.
For all of our hard-working crew, our tireless and thankless job of our director, producer, engineer, Ben Schroeder, who sits next to us and helps put all these things possible. Thank you, Ben. For Jared Sumption and all the wonderful people in the athletic staff, we say so long and good night. One last time from Orem, Utah. The Wolverines fall on senior night to Kansas City, 61-51.